Okay, if you're currently watching this video, you're going to see exactly, step by step, from A to Z, how to go from zero profit or even a negative balance. That's actually my case. If I go check on Bullix, all I have to do is go to the portfolio. There you go, I'm at minus 3,200 euros. That's what I'm doing, trading meme coins. So I'm in the red, I'm losing all my money. It's probably the same for you. But today I'm going to teach you another strategy that I've put in place. That means I've completely stopped investing in meme coins, except for one small example that I'll show you. So I started using this new strategy, which easily allows me to generate several Solana per day without any problem. In any case, if you're skeptical, don't hesitate to watch this video all the way through. You'll see I'm really going to explain all the steps, exactly how I do it, and why you should do the same as me. Basically, trading meme coins can be broken down into two categories. The first is simply buying and creating them. So buying is probably what you're doing right now, and it's probably what's making you lose money, and it's what made me lose money too. At least that's what made me lose money in the past. So you're going to have to find good projects that will take a huge amount of time. Usually you have to be an insider, meaning you're part of the circle of people who launch the token. You can also do copy trading, but in the end, as the name suggests, it's still gambling. In other words, it's like going to the casino and you have very little chance of winning anything. And if you start to win something that is you buy in here, usually you get too greedy, you'll keep going, the token will go up and you'll think it's fine, it's going to the moon until it drops like this. And then you lose all your money. This is exactly what we want to avoid doing here. So that's why there's the second strategy, which is simply creating tokens. That's the one I'm going to teach you right now. Now, when it comes to creating tokens, you really have two options, the hard way and the easy way. Obviously, we're going to choose the easy way, but just to explain a bit what the hard method is. Basically, it involves creating a token from scratch, building a community, developing a real project, and maybe even having actual software behind it. So that takes a huge amount of time, requires very significant skills, and you'll spend a lot of money without seeing any immediate benefits. So of course, this can create tokens that will skyrocket to several million in market cap. So here, we're not talking about small tokens where you can make 2 or 3 times return. Here, you're really looking at something where you can make hundreds of thousands of euros or even much more. But in any case, it takes a lot of time. And also, above all, it actually has to work because you need to bring a lot of people onto it, and that costs money. And still, there are so many projects that are scams that people are starting to lose trust in this kind of project. That's why we have the easy method, which is simply to use a bundle. I'm going to explain exactly what that is and to simply launch a meme coin, which means something that's based on, it could be an image, it could be a text, it could be anything, even a post on Twitter, for example, and you're going to launch a token from that. So what's the difference between PumpFun, which you probably know if you clicked on this video, and the bundle? Well, on PumpFun, actually, you'll have very few options at launch. That is, let's go directly to it. Let's go to PumpFun. There you go. You'll see that, in fact, it has a very simple interface. First, you have here the list of tokens, and you can just click right here to create your own token. So here, you have very few options, meaning the token name, a ticker, a description, a small image, a few social media links, and that's it. Here, what exactly is a bundle for? It's mainly used to buy a token with several wallets. That is, you have a list of wallets like this, and they will start buying little by little, so that it looks like there is some activity on your token, even before any real people get involved. That's what we're going to try to use today. And the difference between, for example, Pumpkin, Dogwitstool, and SwiftSoul is that, for instance, SwiftSoul actually lets you create a chart that looks like this, meaning as if there were already real investors involved, which will give confidence to other people, the real investors, who will then actually drive up your token. Because obviously, the money that's making your token go up at first is your own using different wallets. We'll see how to set all that up in just a moment. And then it will be picked up directly by real investors. The token will keep going up and you will sell something like that. And you can see that this isn't at all like a rug pull model where you have something like this and then the chart drops to 0. Here, it's really going to look like natural traffic, and it will just keep going up like this. Why not? There you go. There will be something that at the very least appears real. So now we're going to go straight to SwiftSol, and I show you exactly how it works. First of all, you should know that SwiftSol is completely free, and that's really what makes this bundle so powerful compared to the others. That is, Pumpkin and Dogwiftool are extremely expensive. Okay? And on top of that, they've had security breaches with wallets, whereas with SwiftSol, I've never had any issues and no one has ever had any problems with this bundle. So basically, how does it work? First, you go to wfsol.fr. So let's go there right now. There we go. You search for wfsol.fr and you land on this page. Okay, so it's really very simple. You have some information, etc. And you can click directly on download. Here, you choose the version that matches your device. Either you're on Windows or you're on macOS. You click, you download, and you'll extract a zip file and get the .exe file. You just click on it, and then you'll find yourself on this interface. So here you can see that you have all the information exactly like on PumpFund, that is with the image, the token name, the description, etc., along with some additional information that I'll explain to you a bit later when we do the launch. Next, you have the wallet section. So here, it's simply all the wallets that are going to buy your token. As I showed you earlier, that is the different wallets, like the list I made earlier, will gradually buy your token, meaning with bots automatically, to generate traffic on it, that is by selling, buying, and so on. So at least the chart will look natural with real traffic and so on. So actually what you need to do is you find yourself on this interface where normally you don't have any wallets. You click on the little plus right here, enter 10, and click on generate. I've already created about 10 wallets, they're all here. And then you'll go into the settings. Now, the settings here will really depend on each person, especially this particular setting, which is the amount of Solana you want to use for your next launch. Personally, I'm only going to use 1 Solana. For the vital fees, I recommend setting them exactly as I have. You don't have to adjust the slippage, it won't make any difference in any case. And set the maximum purchase to 0.1 and 0.01. What does all this mean? Everything I've set. It means that each wallet will, every few seconds, buy an amount between 0.01 and 0.1 Solana until it has spent a total of 1 Solana. So basically, the chart will just rise like this. There you go. It's going to go up a little bit. And as soon as this chart appears, other investors will start buying while your wallets are also making purchases. So basically, it creates a transition to something that looks very natural until you decide to sell or until the bundle runs out of available Solana, depending once again on what you've set here. So now you can click on save, and then you'll find yourself in this interface. You'll need to deposit some Solana, so you have your private address here on SwiftSol. You just click on it or scan the QR code directly to send Solana. I'm going to send 1 Solana right now. There you go. I've just deposited a little over 1 Solana, and it shows up right here within a few seconds. So basically, this money will be drawn from the different wallets. That means each wallet that makes a purchase will take a portion of this Solana, as you specified in the settings, and will gradually buy your token. But right now, what we're looking to do is create a token. So how do we go about making one? Well, it's super simple. First, you need to find a trend, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So here I came across this post saying that the USA token has a potential of $1 billion. So we're just going to go ahead and create the USA token. It's really super simple. It's as easy as that. That is, you find a post that's doing well, that was just posted, and is related to the United States, current events, Donald Trump in short, something that's trending right now. And then it's extremely simple. You can either design a small image or just take a screenshot. For me, I just took, this American flag. Then you put the name of the token directly. So here we will put the name of the token, so USA in the ticker. The ticker, I remind you, is the abbreviation of the name of the token, or it could be anything. For example, for Bitcoin, which is the token name, you put BTC. And then for the name, we will simply put $1 billion token, no keyboard, dollar token. As simple as that. In the description, you don't need to put a description as soon as you surf on a trend. It's absolutely useless. And here, very importantly, you will have to select all the wallets right here. And actually, this corresponds to all the wallets we generated previously in this section. Next, for the mode, you will choose the experimental method, at least that's what I recommend. So you just click directly on the experimental method, and then we're going to grab right here the link to the tweet. And once you've filled everything out correctly, you simply need to click on create. There you go. Sometimes it might take a few seconds and your token will appear right there. So make sure you've deposited at least 1 Solana on SwiftSol, because that's the minimum deposit required. There you go. And then you just click directly on your task and you're ready to launch the token. That's it. So here you simply click on the green button, which will directly initialize the bundle that will then automatically create the token. So here you can see that we immediately have the contract address right here, and now the purchases will start coming in. It's going to go very, very fast, especially if you put only a small amount of Solana in the settings. Here I only put 1 Solana, so it's going to go really fast. In any case, we'll wait a little bit. Otherwise, if you put a lot more Solana in the settings, you can manually withdraw right here to stop the purchases at any time. So here you can see that it only took 1 minute. We launched the token at 3:27 p.m. and it's already 3:28 p.m. In just 1 minute, I managed to make 4.52 Solana. So in reality, that's 3.52 Solana in profit. And if I check my balance, it's at 4.64. So now let's go see exactly what happened, because I think it worked really, really well. Usually when you make that much money in such a short time, it means the token performed extremely well. So I'm going to go straight to Bullix. Let's take a look at how it did on the chart. There we go. Wait, let's just click here. And so you can see that we launched the token at 3:27 p.m. and it took only, well, 1 minute to sell everything at 3:28. So it must have been somewhere around here. And actually there was already so much volume and so many buys that unfortunately our purchases were spread out a bit everywhere between here and just here. So it was picked up very, very quickly by investors, and we sold right around here. So actually, if I had put a lot more Solana in the settings, I would have made really huge amounts. And you can see that the token went up to over 65,000 in market cap. Unfortunately, we sold too early, but this just shows how easy it is to make money with this bundle. It makes a lot more money in any case than just buying and gambling on any random token. And you can see that, well, in just 1 minute, it still made more than 3 Solana in profit, 3.5 Solana in profit, which can already represent more than 100 euros, if I'm not mistaken, at the current Solana rate. Anyway, in any case, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to download SwiftSol, which is in the description. Also, don't hesitate to subscribe. This is my very first video, so I hope it will help you finally make some money with meme coins, and I'll see you next time.